Hey everybody, welcome to this week's live broadcast series on what is a vision architect anyway. I am Amy Simpkins and I am the vision architect. And what that means is that I help developing entrepreneurs cast and craft a beautiful big picture integrated vision for their life and business. And then I help them harness the power of iteration to implement that vision, to bring it to reality, to give it legs and make it real. And so, because vision architect might be a term that you are unfamiliar with, I believe that I coined it. I'm going to take this week and do a short series of live broadcasts about what exactly is a vision architect and what makes you one. I am not the only one, even though that's my title. And so what makes you a vision architect, and how do you go about architecting a vision for your business and life? So today is part one, and we're going to talk specifically about vision. So let's talk about and what vision means. We're going to talk a little bit about why vision is superior to goals, although that's a topic that could be an entire live broadcast in and of itself. And so we're going to talk a little bit about that, why vision is superior to goals. Then we're going to talk about the 4 elements of a well-crafted business vision. And we're going to talk a little bit about then what you do with that, like how you move forward from that. And then later on this week, we'll talk about the architecture piece. Like, what does it mean to be an architect? How is architecture applicable to this vision stuff and to building a business? And then we're going to put it all together in the final video of the series. So there's a lot to look forward to here. There's a lot to cover. So let's dive in today on vision. Now, you'll hear a lot of people talk about, setting goals. And goals can be a good place to start. And I have several different problems with goals. But I'm going to talk about one of the major ones, kind of using an analogy of a GPS versus a map. Okay, now I'm old school, so in this analogy, the map, spoiler alert, the map is superior to the GPS. So that's where I'm headed with this, so you can follow. So goals are like using a GPS. You have an address, very specific destination, and all you really care about is getting to the destination. So you plug in the address and the GPS returns to you turn-by-turn directions. It's a prescriptive path to get to that very specific destination. There's no other information that you have. There's no other, there's no context to it. It's just very specific destination. That would be your goal. And then you have this very prescriptive turn-by-turn directions. Even, and this is sort of it's changed, GPS obviously have changed a little bit, with apps like Waze that do update based on what traffic conditions are like. But it definitely used to be that you got this turn-by-turn directions once at the beginning of your drive, and then you never got an update. And so you would go out and if something happened and there was traffic along your way, too bad, so sad. You were following the prescriptive path on your GPS. And it's so easy to just turn your brain off. That, the GPS says to get on the freeway, and you look at the freeway and it's a parking lot of traffic. And you look at it and you said, well, the GPS said to get on the freeway, so I'm going to get on the freeway. And you just turn your brain right off, and it's hard to go against that GPS and say, like, no, I'm smarter than the machine. I'm going to go a different way. So how does this relate? So GPS is like setting a goal, like something that's really specific. Sometimes it's arbitrary. A lot of times it's arbitrary. And you have this kind of prescriptive path that you mean to follow to get there without a lot of context. And you have the tendency to turn your brain off then along the way, along the journey, and say, well, I'm just plugging along, following the journey. And I expect that when I get there, I'm going to reach the destination. There's not a lot of thought to what the journey is actually like if it's trafficky, or, there's not a lot of that context. So that's how I view goal setting, like this classical kind of SMART goals. Contrast that with vision. So let's talk about what a vision is and why it's different. By the way, if you want to hear me riff a little bit more about why SMART goals are actually dumb, I invite you to head over to my free video workshop. It's at amysimpkins.com/PTOP. That's P to P. And the first video of that workshop series is all about why SMART goals are actually dumb and vision is superior. So now let's talk about vision. So instead of setting a very specific destination, getting prescriptive turn-by-turn directions, not really caring about what the journey is like, just like want to get there as fast as possible. A vision is more like having a map. And think about it, instead of thinking about a driving map, although we can continue with that analogy, let's think about it like you're hiking, right? And so if you're hiking, you have a destination in mind. You probably want to get to some scenic point, or maybe it's the summit. Here I live in the state of Colorado in the Rocky Mountains, so we do a lot of mountaineering, a lot of peak bagging. We want to get to the summit, right? So there's a destination in mind. But mountaineering isn't just about bagging the summit. It's also about enjoying the beautiful hike along the way, right? You want to stop at a scenic point for lunch. You want to make sure you enjoy all the different kinds of environments and ecosystems that you're hiking through as you hike through trees, and then you get above tree line and you see different kinds of wildlife, and you want to have the flexibility to enjoy all of that different kind of environments, and you want to enjoy the journey, the hike to get there. The summit is great, and it's such an achievement to get there, but you also want to be able to, it's also about the journey. It's not just about the summit, it's about the journey as well. And having the map is having the context of the journey. Sure, there's a trail there, which is the expected path and probably the most expedient path to the top. And you definitely don't want to go way off trail a lot, and there's erosion issues and there's respect for the trail and all that kind of thing. But having the map allows you to see if there is a different route you might like to take. If there's a scenic overlook, a good place to stop for lunch, a different path, an alternative route to get to the top that might be more challenging, more fun, or easier than the one that you were going to go on in the first place. And so it all depends, and you can make those decisions along the way because you have the map. So you can start out on the prescribed path, which is the main trail, and then though you can make the decision along the way that as you move forward, because you have the map, because you have the context, you can make the decision about where you want to go along the way. So that's what having a vision is like. Having a vision creates this whole picture of the context of where you're going. It not only includes the end goal, like the summit, but it also includes the entire journey along the way, what the hike is like along the way. And it gives you the opportunity to make real-time decisions along the way so that you can adjust your path. Maybe you could even change the summit you're headed towards. If you decide, sometimes here in Colorado that happens, you might get to a juncture and you say, okay, we're going to head for that peak instead of that peak. And having a clear, crisp vision in your business also allows you to make that kind of decision, that you can make those tweaks and turns and pivots along the way because you have the whole context, right? So that is kind of what your vision should do for you. Your vision should provide you context, not only for your destination and what you want to have at the end, but also it should give you context around your journey so that you can make decisions and adjust and tweak and do things differently along the way, and not just follow some prescriptive path that may or may not really piss you off along the way. Okay, so that's why vision, why we want to have a vision and why it's important for your business. So let's talk about for a second then the elements of the core elements of a business vision, and I have 4 of them for you. Okay, so the first piece is sort of the foundational piece of your business, and the foundation of your business is you. And so in that foundational piece, we talk about like really having a clear understanding of what your highest values are, what your skills and talents and passions, what the beautiful things that you want to bring to being in the world are, how you want to serve people, how you are equipped to serve people, those things that light you up from the inside, and they make other people, when they see you doing them, they make other people go, wow, she's amazing. Those all of those pieces go together in your foundation. Also in your foundation, we talk about you want to have this kind of broad brush picture of what you want the outcome to be. So we're talking about the summit, right? So when you have reached the summit or the first summit on your journey, what do you want that to look like? What do you want to have in your business? Is it some kind of income level? Being careful not to set something arbitrary. What kind of income level are you talking about? What kind of services are you offering? How many people are interacting with you? What kinds of things are you offering that at the destination? And then also having some broad brush picture about what you want the journey to be like and what you want to experience along the way, what kinds of opportunities you want to leave yourself open to along the way. That all goes into that foundational piece. Now, I think a lot of people stop there with vision. Even if they've included all that other stuff, all that foundational stuff with your values and what you want to feel and your skills and your passions and your talents, and then this picture of kind of what you want it to be like when you get there and what you want it to be like along the way. I think that's what the majority of people would say is the vision. That totally encompasses the vision. But I would argue to you that that is not the complete vision. That is merely the foundation of your vision. Because when you're talking about business, it's not a business until you're making money. Am I right? I mean, you wanted to start this business to support yourself financially in addition to make a huge impact in the world. And if it's not bringing you revenue, it's not achieving your vision, right? So the second piece of your vision is talking about really taking that foundational vision and integrating it all together, but then being able to productize it, right? And the important thing about turning your big picture vision, your foundational vision, into products is being able to set boundaries around what is included in the product and what is not included in the product. And so your products should be a reflection of all that foundational stuff. They should be, they should incorporate your values, and they should incorporate your authentic self and the way that you express yourself. And you should definitely come through and have that integrated with the changes you want to be in the world and the way you want your business to look like. And that should all kind of come together into that product suite. But then to define the products, it's about setting the boundaries around each of the products and saying, I need to make this bite size so that it's something that is logical for me to deliver and it's easy for my client to digest. Because usually in those broad brush vision strokes, you say that I want to change the world. I want to help people make change in their lives or in their businesses or whatever by, doing this stuff, but it's very general. And so when we talk about bringing that into products, we're talking about getting specific and focused. How exactly are you going to deliver that change? Because if you advertise to people that you're going to help them change their lives, it's hard for them to digest that large of a scope. And so when we talk about making products, we're not talking about limiting your talents or limiting your gifts. We're talking about chunking your talents and gifts into bite-sized pieces so that your client can say, yeah, I see how that's doable. I see how that piece is going to deliver me an outcome that's important to me, and I can see how I can put a dollar value on that and buy it from you. Okay, so this piece of chunking your expertise into products and setting boundaries around what your products are made up of, it allows you to make that pie in the sky, brilliant but nebulous vision really specific and grounded and executable, because you know what to build. And there can be products at all sorts of different price points, and we can have all sorts of different types of products and services, and that's another topic for another video. But so that's the second element of your vision, is how to productize that foundational level of your vision. Okay? So the third element then is to talk about what your clients need, and to talk about what is their vision for their life, their business, whatever you're trying to help them with, and how it intersects with your own vision. So we talked, the first two elements of the vision are really about you. I mean, the foundational piece is all you, really. It's all about what you care about, what you are gifted to do, what you are inspired to do, and what you want to bring into the world. And then that second piece, which is the productizing piece, it gets really practical about how to take that foundational piece of you and package it up practically so that it's deliverable, okay, and it's buildable and it's deliverable. Those are the first two pieces. So that's kind of a lot about you. So then the third piece is, how does that connect? How does that intersect with your clients? And so your clients have this big picture vision as well for their own life, for their own business, and for their own work. And so you need to take that into account. Now, you've heard me say before, and you'll hear me say again, that everything interesting happens at the edges. That's Guy Kawasaki from Apple said that. Everything interesting happens at the edges. So when you have your client's big picture vision and you have your big picture vision, that's an edge. That's an intersection. How does your client's vision intersect with your vision? And how can you combine those two, the whole greater than the sum of the parts, to make magic with your client? And so that's this third element of vision, is like, where is that intersection point? How do you see that intersection point manifesting for yourself and your clients? So then that sort of encompasses, those three elements encompass the static vision. But a vision is not static. It is a living, breathing, evolving entity. It's almost an organism in and of itself, just like you, growing and evolving and changing. And it's something that you're creating all the time. It's regenerating. That's why it's this beautiful organism. And so the fourth piece of your vision is about the next steps. It's kind of always having in your mind the next steps forward and how you're going to be moving towards creating that vision and leveraging that intersection between you and your clients. And we're not talking about this prescriptive turn-by-turn directions to the end destination. That's not what we're talking about here. We're talking about just having enough of the next steps forward so you can keep moving, so you can reevaluate, that's the iterative part, and make a decision along the way about where you want to go, and if you want to make a turn, and if you want to stop for lunch at a scenic overlook, all the way back to that hiking analogy, right? And so that's the fourth element of this vision, is the next steps to move forward that should be driven by the first three elements. Okay? So hopefully this gives you a lot of idea about how vision is superior to goals, and how it's important to have the context of the whole journey, not just your destination, not just the summit, and not to turn your brain off and blindly follow any one step-by-step path, but to invite in the whole context of what you're looking at, and invite in the context, and so that you can make real-time decisions along the way to maximize joy in the journey, ability to take opportunities and to discover new things and to play. And it's an awesome thing. So those are the 4 elements of a vision. You've got the foundational pieces, which is like you and yourself and your values and your passions and what you want to bring into the world and what you want your business to look like. You've got how to take that those foundational pieces and put boundaries around them and turn them into products that have clear boundaries, clear outcomes, so that they're executable and deliverable. And the third piece is about your client's vision and how your client's vision intersects with your vision so that you can speak to them in a powerful, empowering way, and so that they know that you're the right one for them and they will buy your stuff. And then the 4th piece is about knowing how to move forward, at least the next few steps. So you generate that momentum and you are able to move forward to a place where you can see doors of opportunity open to you. You can make decisions about detours or changing the path or changing the destination along the way. Those are the elements of the vision. So much more powerful than just setting an arbitrary goal. So, next time, on Wednesday, we're going to talk about the architecture piece. What does it mean to be an architect? How does vision architecting relate to like building architecture or engineering architecture? I can totally geek out for you on this. There's so much cool stuff to talk about when it comes to architecture, and I can't wait to share it with you on Wednesday. So tune back in for that. Like I said, if you want to hear me riff some more on why SMART goals are actually dumb and vision is superior, I invite you to head over to amysimpkins.com/PTOP. It stands for Possible to Profitable, PTOP. And you can sign up for my free 5-video workshop. And the first video that you'll get right away when you sign up is all about why SMART goals are dumb. And so I invite you to go check that out. And I will catch you the next time. It's been awesome.